Hi, I'm Brandon Grant, Marketing Director here at Quillworks. We recently released a new feature for licensing and security enhancement in Quillworks that allows you to force users out of Quillworks to free up licensing. This was released in Quillworks version 5.2 build 1. We're going to start with an overview of these features, and then we'll show you how you can also assign these security rights to another user, such as a sales manager, so they then have the ability to log users out of Quillworks. Forcing users from Quillworks can be very beneficial, especially if the user has remained signed in while they're on vacation, left for the weekend, and this allows you to release that license for another user. To force users out of Quillworks, you'll either need to have administrative rights in Quillworks or have been provided specific security settings to make these changes. So let's begin. Click on Utilities, Show Logged In Users in Quillworks. This will open up the Logged In Users window, and you'll see 3 buttons at the bottom. The Event Viewer will track each time a user license has been revoked or terminated and by which user. This provides an audit trail for admin users to view if necessary, so you can see which of your users have been revoking or terminating licenses in Quillworks. Users then have 2 options for logging users out of Quillworks. We're going to discuss the revoke license allocation option first. This is the best option, and we recommend using this option for 99% of instances. The reason we recommend that is when you utilize this functionality, we are actually revoking the user's license. This action does 2 things. First, it immediately releases this license, and that license is now free and can be utilized by another user. The second action is this alerts the user that their license has been revoked. However, it does not force them out of Quillworks. This is critical because if they have an open document, they're able to save it before exiting. They will not be able to make any changes to their document, they'll not be able to open a new document or do anything else in Quillworks, but they will at least be able to save their work before they close Quillworks. This is why we recommend using this functionality when you need to release a license for another user. Now the Terminate Running Instance button will do exactly that. When you select a user and use this option, it will release a license and close that specific user's installation. That user will be alerted and have 60 seconds to save their work before Quillworks forces them out. At that time, any document they may have been working on will most likely be lost. This is the reason we only recommend using this function if you cannot get into the user's machine and you need to close Quillworks for an update or some similar reason. Treat this feature more of a last resort option. We want to recommend using the revoke license allocation as much as possible instead. Now, if you're trying to log into Quillworks and all the licenses are being used, it would be impossible to get to this window from inside Quillworks. Luckily, all you'll need to do is hold the Shift key when you are first attempting to log into Quillworks, and if you have the proper security settings, the Logged In Users window will appear. At this time, you can now revoke or terminate an instance as needed. Okay, let's move on to the setup. There actually isn't any setup for this feature, it's just inherently available when you update Quillworks. However, if you would like to provide someone, a non-admin user in Quillworks with this capability, you'll need to edit their security settings. To do this, you need to be logged in to Quillworks as a user with admin rights and click on the Utilities User Maintenance option. Highlight the user you would like to apply the changes to and click Edit. Click on the Security tab, and in the Spotlight search to the right, type in Revoke. This will automatically highlight the Revoke License Allocation option in bold and make it a lot easier for you to find. Next to the checkbox for the security setting, simply click it, and this will provide that user with the access right to revoke licenses for users. Typically, we'd recommend this setting for someone like a sales manager who does not have admin rights in Quillworks but needs to be able to release licensing for other users. Click OK, close, and save the settings. These features provide some added control for your users so your company is able to utilize the Quillworks licensing without having to worry about users who may have stayed logged in too long, forgot to log out when leaving for the day, the weekend, or even left for vacation. Thanks for watching.